Hey everybody, Thacia here with Legacy of Light in conjunction with One Love Wellness Center here in Menasha, Wisconsin, coming to you for one of my 365 days from my heart to yours. And the next 4 days I'm going to share the Buddha's Four Noble Truths according to Be Here Now. So, it says, the Buddhists say, cut out all the middle stuff. And it says, I'm talking about the non-dualistic Buddhas. They say, don't get hung up on all these different desires, these trips. Just go beyond it all. So the Buddha's Four Noble Truths are very straightforward and very simple. And the first one concerns the fact that life has in it the element of unfulfillment. Call it suffering. Birth, old age, sickness, not getting what you want, getting what you don't want, even getting what you want in this physical world is going to be suffering because you're going to lose it. It's always in time. Anything that is in time is going to pass away. Lay not up your treasures, where moth and rust doth corrupt. That's the trap of time. As long as you want anything in time, it's going to pass because time passes. I don't know if you can see it. This is super fun way that this book is written. So, and it's on the studies of Ram Dass. And so the life is impermanent, and when we put our treasures in the things of this world, that is when we run into the suffering. Because we're here to experience this world and all that it has to offer, but not to put our true treasures into these things here. Because as he says, it's the trap of time. Because time always passes. You can never hang on to anything, whether, it's a positive experience for you or a negative experience for you. There's that, the saying, this too shall pass, everything passes, because of this concept that we are experiencing of time. Time is always passing us by. So, I don't know if you call it solution to that is to seek within yourself to find your truth and not the truth of, what this world is, but the truth of your divine existence, your divine expression, your divine connection, which will then help you experience this world in a whole new way and to release attachments to these sufferings, because we actually allow these things into our life. And as I said before, everything is in our life for our positive growth. But when we release attachment to these, to the birth, to the old age, to the sickness, to the not getting what we want, to, getting the things we want in this physical world, because a lot of times we get these things and it's not the reaction or the thing that we get isn't really what we wanted. What we're looking for is the experiences of these emotions and the feelings that come from that. And so we think that it's the object or the thing, and it's not really, it's just the feeling that we want to experience. So why not put your treasures in the feelings of the experience, the joy, the love, the gratitude, rather than saying, oh, like, silly example, like, I want $1 million because then I'll be happy. It's always like, I'll have this and then I'll be happy. But when we put our treasures into these emotions of love and of joy, these emotions are these vibrations that we create, then we become less attached to the time that is always passing. So lay not up your treasures where moth and rust does corrupt. So put your treasures in you, in your heart, in joy, in love, in gratitude for this experience. And this divine expression that you came to share. And you will release suffering, because you won't be attached to these things. And we are the only ones who create suffering. It's not anybody outside of us. It's our as they say, our monkey minds would just create all these scenarios, these stories, and we create our own suffering. Nobody creates suffering for you. So when we let go of these attachments, we let go of the attachments to everything. And I know sometimes people are like, everything? But what about the positive stuff? Yes, everything. You let go of your attachments, because when you let go of your attachments to everything, then there's nothing there to make you suffer and to keep you suffering, to keep you stuck in this space. And as I said before, like, at any moment we get to choose. If you don't like the way that things are going, you get to change it. Choose a different path. Choose a different way. That's all there is. And not choosing a different way is just causing you to suffer more. If you're in a place of suffering, maybe you're in a relationship, you're in a town, you're in a house, you're in wherever you don't want to be, but yet you come up with all these excuses of why you can't get out of this situation, but you can. It's your choice. And sure, you may have to deal with emotions from that situation, from, maybe breaking up with somebody, from, moving away from your comfort zone, but step out of it and you remove suffering, because there's nothing to suffer from. It's just like, oh, that wasn't working. I'm going to try this way. Oh, that wasn't working. I'm going to go here. And just set your intentions to move from the suffering. And the universe is always conspiring to help you. And we just have to ask, and we just have to move. And, set our intentions. This is not, my desire. I would like to, change it up, switch it up, and then go that way. And I can tell you, in the past 6 months, I've done that twice, and, part of my ego is like, oh my God, don't be telling that. Like, people will think you're crazy, but I don't I don't really care. Because I'm doing what my heart desires. I'm doing what I want. And there was lessons that I wanted to learn from my past two relationships, and I learned them, and I moved on, and I'm not sad, and I'm not suffering, and I'm not like, oh, I should have, because I made the decision. I wanted to change. I didn't want that. And the universe is like, okay, here you go. And sure, we can stay in these places and you can learn lessons, but which ones do you want to learn? Do you want to move from that space or stay in that suffering space? Because once you move out of it, it's almost as it's like it's effortless. And that emotion of love and caring for yourself before everyone else, like, just washes the rest of that away. So the first noble truth is that time is always going to pass, and there's nothing that we can change about that circumstance here on earth. It's just going to keep passing. It's just going to keep going. And if you want to release yourself from suffering, then release yourself from the attachments to time passing and what happens when time passes. Okay. I think that's all for today. So I love you all. And just know that you are a creator and you are eternally adored for just being you. And there's nothing that you have to do, or there's nothing that you have to be to deserve all of this. And you are always divinely guided.